It's your man at his parents' house in America. jcontra here, and you are looking at the other gaming closet. I did an introduction of my gaming closet in Japan, where I keep a lot of my collection. But I'd say the greater part of it is here in America. Every time I come back from Japan for Christmas or New Year's, weddings, I always bring back 2 full suitcases just full of stuff. And here you're looking at a big chunk of it. So what I thought I'd do is, since the other video was so well received, I thought I'd kind of go through some of these, because I got a lot of memories attached to these consoles. Like, I got my Wii U. I actually just brought this back because don't really need to use the Wii U anymore. Had this for a few years now. Have a lot of Smash, Mario Kart memories. I won't really pull it out simply because it's a Wii U. You know what you get with these. But let's see what. Oh yeah, and the story. Oh yeah, the PC Engine Duo that I got. I'll try, if I can, I'll try and open these. I'm doing this all one-handed, folks. So please excuse me if I can't get some of those top shelf guys over there. I do want to open up some of these boxes just so I can even freaking remember what's in these things. What was cool about this PC Engine Duo, I bought this at a hard-off in Kumamoto. I got it for 150 bucks, which is absolutely an insane price. The only problem is that the PC Engine Duos have a capacitor problem. So what ended up happening was I bought it and I thought it would be working perfectly. But because the PC Engine, you know, the original Duo, the Duo Rs and the RXs don't have this problem. But the regular Duos, the capacitors leak on them. So I ended up putting it in to play the games. Oh man, yeah, I can't pull it out. Sorry, guys. I ended up buying this, buying a couple games, and then the sound cut out after like just a few minutes of playing. And I should have returned it, but I thought, no, I'm an enterprising American man, and I'm going to replace the capacitors myself. And while I mostly was successful, I did pull a few of the contact pads. So that means that I only get mono audio out of this bad boy. So that was probably a mistake on my part. But considering that even junk Duos, even out of the box, are like $100, I guess it's not so bad. I actually just brought this Dreamcast back. This was a guy who was heavily featured. I think he was supposed to be like the stereotypical Japanese salaryman, and so you'll find a lot of Dreamcast boxes just with this guy from a freaking advertisement on the box, preserved for posterity's sake. Behind there you can see the purple GameCube that I actually just brought back this trip. Let's see what's in some of these boxes. Let's see what I can reach. Oh man, okay, let me see. I think see a composite cable. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna put that on the 3DO box over there. Oh yeah, okay, I haven't actually used this yet, but here we've got an official SCART cable put out by Nintendo for the Super Famicom. I think this is only supposed to work with the Super Famicom. I don't know if it actually works with the N64 as well, although I think the N64 needs like an amp in order for it to output real RGB. Let's see, let me pop this guy open. Yeah, this is a box of crap. I'm not really sure how I even organize this. Oh, this is a fishing rod for the N64. It's really cool. I think you can actually play most games with this because you could play Smash on this because you've got all of the buttons. The Z button over there, and then I'm not sure exactly what this is supposed to replace. I wonder if this replaces the D-pad, because that's the one thing I don't see on this is a D-pad. Put that down. Oh yeah, I guess this is mostly like AV cables and whatnot. Oh yeah, there's a. See, sometimes you can find stuff that's like almost new. So here we've got a game. This is the Game Boy transfer cable. This is what you could pass over your Pokemon on. Found this for $1 somewhere. It's good, yeah. Sorry, can't open it too fine. Oh, and then yeah, my Xbox original, the OG Xbox. This is a component out, so it does the RGB. Some Xbox games were in HD. I think they were like 480p. So that's going to be really cool if I ever decide to capture some of those games. But don't really see this much. I remember like reading an issue of EGM where they were like trying to tell you how to do HD stuff. And then there's a memory pack. yeah, whenever I do my N64 game where I just go into the junk section and I look for the memory packs and junk consoles and pick them up for like $5 because I've got like 20 N64s. Most of the different colors. I'm only missing a couple. Oh, yeah, and there's the mouse. There's the Super Famicom mouse. Okay, so put that aside. Put that back. Oh yeah, and here's I guess this is what will be my platform for today. This is the front-loading Panasonic 3DO. I actually see a lot more of these in Japan than I do America. I don't know if that's because they sold better in America, or sorry, they sold better in Japan rather than America. But this is something that I think I bought for $60. I think it's going for like $80 now. 3DOs and experienced a little bit of a price increase in the last few years, but not that much. And then here is my Japanese Xbox. The story behind this guy is that when I first lived in Japan, I did not have a car. I had a little scooter that I drove around. So I found this in a city near me, but the thing is that this box, the Xbox box, was so big that I could not fit it in my scooter. So what ended up happening was I had to take the bus back home with the Xbox box. And then I had to go back via bus to get my scooter because I took the train to go to that other city. And so that Xbox cost me an additional like $15 just so that I could take the bus home, so I could carry it home. But there's some cool Xbox games that I like. Let me see. Nothing, just a Wii. Got a Super Famicom in the box. I think I found that a couple years ago. Oh, here's my Famicom. I could probably open this up pretty easy. This Famicom, this is an original Famicom box. Now, the crazy thing about this is that I found this at a hard-off for $10. This would normally be like a $150 console if you bought it in Tokyo. And the reason is because the original Famicom, let me try and get it out of the box here. The original Famicom does not connect via composite video cables. That actually would come later in the AV Famicom. So what would happen is a lot of these are untestable because you need this item right here that will connect to your TV. This will go into your coax plug on the back of your TV, and this then plugs into the Famicom. And this is a really great find. It's in really good condition. And again, if you want to use the original Famicom, you got to have this box right here. There are mods around for the Famicom that I know actually in Tokyo, you'll actually find for, I'd say about $110, $120 loose, you'll find Famicoms that have already been AV modded. And I'm talking the original, not AV Famicoms, I mean this Famicom right here, but they'll solder in some wires and an amp on the back of the console, and that will let you plug into any, even modern TVs. Let's see, maybe I can open up my GameCube over here. I bought this GameCube in the box a few years ago. And what was really cool about this was, again, I got this at a hard off for like $30. And what was so cool about this was that it was essentially like new. It was almost like someone had bought this and they hadn't even really used it. And hopefully I can show you why I believe that. And it is because everything was in like nothing, hardly anything had ever been touched. It came with all of the original like packaging. The GameCube itself, yeah, it was in really great condition. And it didn't even have scratches on the top, like, I don't know what you'd call it, like whatever this thing you would call the iris of the GameCube, I don't know. But usually you can tell if something's been heavily used on the GameCube because this will have a lot of scratches on it. It didn't have anything. There were no marks, no anything. And that was really cool. And this is actually the special GameCube player edition of the GameCube. And so that is a really cool find. Sorry for taking a second to put this back. I want to at least preserve some order in this closet here. So put you back. There's nothing really special about the Final Fantasy 13 edition of the Xbox 360 that I have. Actually, the only real distinction between this Xbox 360 and the normal Xbox 360 is that the hard drive has Final Fantasy 13 on the label. You can kind of, I hope you can see from the light here, but it's a beautiful white Xbox 360, and then the only Final Fantasy 13 marking is on the hard drive itself. So that's actually kind of boring, but I do appreciate the Japanese Xbox 360. Okay, we'll save you for later. We're not going to move that stuff around. And then a white PS2. If I am playing PS2 games here, I like the white console. I hope it hasn't yellowed yet. There's a lot of the white plastics that they use in Japan end up yellowing for whatever reason. I always thought it was because of the smoke, but it could also just be because of the humidity, or just because that's what will eventually happen to plastics. And then my only working AV Famicom, my other one loose, bit the dust, but this one still plays, but I'm going to keep it here for now. Oh yeah, and the story behind this Neo Geo CDZ. This is a great find. I found this bad boy at a hard off. It was like $100. It was for the console in the box. Unfortunately, it does not have the manual or the instruction guide or whatever with it. And look, it's like for the CDZ. This is a highly sought after console because it loads CD games much faster than the original base top loading console, and they put it just in this like bare bones, yeah, it's insanely, like, it's just cardboard. Like, at least look at those, like, look at these boxes, you know, they kind of got glossy finishes to them. Yeah, the Nintendo stuff is cardboard, but at least, you know, they have some matte finish to them. This is just plain old cardboard for this guy, and I can't see. It came with a couple. It came with. Oh my God! It's even in great condition. The only problem is that it did not have the laser was an issue with it. So I ended up buying the laser off of Amazon and then replacing the laser myself, and it is now a completely working CDZ. So a great find. Don't be afraid of buying broken stuff in the junk section. More likely than not, you can fix it yourself. So let's put this guy away. Put you back in your seat of honor. And then let's open up some more of those clear cases. Oh, this is my American game, my American retro game collection. I guess you could say I started collecting retro games back when I was in high school, like 10, 12 years ago. The first ever retro game, I guess technically you could say retro game that I ever bought. Should still have that. Yeah, no. It's one of these. One of these. Where are you? Or did I put that? Oh, here it is. This is the first ever retro game that I ever bought. It's Super Mario RPG. I played this when I was in the 4th grade. I actually borrowed it from a friend. I remember playing it at their house while my parents were over there for a dinner party. And I was like, no, dinner parties suck. I just want to play video games. So I ended up just playing this game a lot. And then I borrowed it from them. I cleared it. And then when I was in high school, I ended up buying this for like 20 bucks from a retro game store back when I used to live in Illinois. I've also got a bunch of games. I think, although this is something that I kept this. My mom really loved Stargate back in the day. So for some reason, I was allowed to buy a Stargate video game for the Super Nintendo. And then a lot of these are things that I have bought just over the years. You know, if I find them at a local game store. And a lot of the Donkey Kong countries love those games. I actually bought this just a couple years ago because I wanted an American Genesis game just for fun. And then, of course, there is the greatest game of all time, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Back when I was in college, I remember going to a local kind of like a used computer store. And this guy, just one of the employees, I guess they had just brought it in, he just like put a Nintendo 64 with a bunch of games like right in front of me as I was going through some of the other games. And then I was like, okay, I need to buy all of these. And they were like $5 a piece. I'm like, my God, $5 for some of these games. This is a real steal. Although Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I really like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. It was a good game. Okay, so that's I mean, that's not the only American games that I have in my collection, but those are the big shooters. I do have a shelf full of American games, but these are definitely my American cartridge games right here. And then on top of that, oh yeah, here's a bunch of Famicom games. These are the Famicom games that I have in America. So actually, what do I have in here? Let's see, here's the original Metal Gear. I mean, it's not the same as the MSX version, and it's kind of a little bit watered down, but it's still Metal Gear, so you gotta appreciate that. Oh yeah, here's the original Rockman, which used to be like, I think $50, $60 sometimes, but I think the Rockmen, I think they've really gone down in price And here's, I think, the somewhat underrated Famicom Wars. This is the, I guess you could say, the granddaddy of the Advance Wars series. I would have liked this game like 30 years ago when it first came out. When did this come out? What is this, 1984? No, 1988, excuse me. So this is 30 years ago now. And it's a really fun game, but you got to remember in the context it was fun. Now it's not so much because you've got to watch all the CPU moves. Everything runs slowly, but at least it got the ground. It was on the ground floor of one of my favorite franchises of all time. And here's also the cartridge release of The Legend of Zelda, the very first one. This actually came out many years after the original Famicom disc release, but this is the version you're going to want to play simply because you don't have to read that disc all the time and risk slipping that drive belt. And then, of course, we've got the original, oh man, Super Mario Bros. 2 has really pissed off a lot of people, even pissed off me. And then we've got Zelda, Link's Adventure, Legend of Zelda 2. You can even read that in English up here. And we got, see, here's the original Legend of Zelda right here with the Famicom disc release. We even have Doki Doki Panic. This would eventually become Super Mario Bros. 2. I'm sure you all know that. Oh yeah, and then, or in Japan, what was known as Super Mario USA, which is a really fun game. I actually have, did I beat Doki Doki Panic? I've never actually beaten Super Mario 2, now that I think about it. Let's see, anything else? We got, oh yeah, Mother. This is somewhat sought after, although Earthbound is slightly better, although my hot take is that I don't believe Earthbound is that good of a game. But, so leave your comments below if you wanna hate on me. Anything else that's cool? Oh yeah, Fire Emblem. Oh, this is actually double. I actually bought this in the box because I freaking love Fire Emblem. And then Rockman 2, we got a bunch of, yeah, all of my I think I took back all of my Rockman. And then this is the coolest cartridge. I love Double Dragon 2. I think it's a great game, and I will say that this is probably the best cartridge / box art that has just ever been on a video game ever. You know, controversial opinion right here, folks. Anything else? Oh, and then I guess I could bring up, this is supposed to be Bionic Commando, but in the Japanese, it's actually, was it Hitora no Seikatsu? No, I forgot how to read that kanji, but it's basically the revival of Hitler, top secret. And so it's a really interesting case of localization. Anything else in here? Oh, and then here's the beautiful art for Final Fantasy. Great cartridge. The game itself is, I don't know. I don't know if I want to play the original Final Fantasy. I have a real problem with some of the Final Fantasies. Some of the recent ones are okay. Final Fantasy 15 was fun enough. So, oh yeah, and you can see in here, there's my original, this is my original Super Nintendo. That's back, I remember, I guess the story behind that is that I was living in Germany when I was like 4 or 5, and my parents bought me, my dad was in the Air Force, and so they had NTSC consoles at the BX, so I was able to get an American console even though I was living in Germany. Thank God, so that I didn't have to live with the hell that was PAL consoles. And what is even in here? Oh, that's not my original GameCube? Hold on, I need to double check that. Let's pull this bad boy out. Yep. So let's open up this guy. Let's see what's in, because I can't remember what color my original GameCube was back in the day. But here's my Wavebird from back when I was in middle school. I always thought this was one of the better wireless controllers. And I hardly ever see these in Japan. So I've always got my eye out for them. Let me see. It's even got the... I don't know why I have 2 memory cards, but I do. Let's see, this would be, oh yeah, this would be my American GameCube. I bought this back in middle school. I remember I mowed a lot of yards, and I eventually saved up enough money. I had to make the decision between the PS2 or the GameCube, and I picked the GameCube. And when I was later on in high school, I would get a PS2, which is probably around here somewhere, but I think I made the original good choice. And I even have I think I ended up buying this, like, in college, the Game Boy adapter. Okay, let's put that away. I think we still got a few. Yeah, I think we can open up one more of these cases. Okay, well, I'll deal with that later. Let's see what's in this top one. We'll end it up here. End it here. Let's see. So what's in here? This is going to be as big a mystery to you as it is to me. I got a lot of stuff in here. Oh, it looks like my original Game Boy collection, although this is something I'll pick up later. This is a Game Boy Pocket camera. It's a yellow one. I'm not picking this probably for like $5. I really want to do like a photo series with these. I think it'd be so cool. Most of these still work. The only problem is you gotta somehow get the photos off, so I guess you could run it through a capture card. You just gotta take screenshots of the images. I guess we could maybe show a little bit of the Japanese packaging. That would be so cool. That's so cool. Let's see. Take the picture, look, and play, because you can, I guess, get Pikachu, and he's like feeding you something. I don't know what's going on there, folks. But you can even get the printer. And then here's, oh yeah, this is my copy of Red. I've had this for, I guess, 20 years now. And it's still here. The battery's probably dead. And then, oh man, this copy of Silver. Oh, let me tell you about this copy of Silver. So when I was so into Pokemon, as you can see from my original copy of Red over here, but then I remember going to Walmart, and I was like, I really want to pre-order this Pokemon Silver. And I went up to this guy, and I was like, you know, I'm like what, 10 years old at the time, and I'm like, hey, I want to pre-order the most recent Pokemon game. And Walmart had an official pre-order program for its games. The only problem is that this guy apparently did not know about it. It was like this old guy, and he just basically like pulls out like a notepad and just writes my name down. Like they had official sheets. They had like Nintendo given sheets to write down your name and stuff, but this guy just writes it down on a notepad. And then when I came back to actually pick up the game, they were like, no, you didn't even pre-order. You don't have the official slip. And then somehow I ended up getting this anyways. But that was a little bit of a traumatic experience for me, because I just wanted to play Pokemon Silver so much. And I don't even know if that's an interesting story to anybody, but it was traumatic to me. And then this is something that I would get obsessed with later, but this is the Final Fantasy Adventure, but in Japan this was the original Secret of Mana. This was Seiken Densetsu, and I don't even know why I bought this. I just, you know, Final Fantasy sounded fun, and it was adventurous, and it was cool, and it was actiony, and it was probably sold to me through Pokemon, or through Nintendo Power. Oh man, what else do I even have in here? Oh, here's my, I bought this, this isn't, I bought this later on. This is my black Game Boy Advance SP. Is this the 10? What's the... There's like a Game Boy Advance SP that's like better than all the others, but I couldn't tell you what even is which. This is the 001. I think the 101 is the one with the really cool screen. Unfortunately, this is not one of those. I think that's my original DS that's in there. Oh man, and then Donkey Kong Land. I played this way more than people probably should have. Yeah, this is oh yeah, my original 3DS there, the nice red one. I think we're going to end it there. That's been my portable collection. A lot of that's been original, stuff I've had for like 20 years now. And this has been the other jcontra gaming closet video. I hope you had fun. I wasn't able to show off everything. I've only got so much time, and I'm sure you're probably bored by all of my antics and shifting through cardboard. But it was cool. Maybe go through some of the other stuff later. Thanks for watching. I've been your man at my parents' house, saying thanks for watching. See you next time, and mahalo.